What makes humans different from every other creature on Earth? It's not just our brains or our ability to speak. It's our power to invent. From the moment we shaped the first stone tools, every step of our progress has been fueled by ideas that turned into creations. Today, we'll travel through time and uncover 100 inventions that changed the course of human life forever. The wheel. It's hard to think of something more ordinary than the wheel. Yet it is one of the most extraordinary breakthroughs in human history. Around 3500 BCC in Mesopotamia, humans invented the first wheels, not for transportation, but for pottery. Soon after, someone had the brilliant idea of attaching wheels to a platform, and suddenly, heavy loads could be moved with ease. From carts pulled by animals to modern cars, and even gears inside your watch, the concept of the wheel is everywhere. The wheel turned not just objects, but the entire story of humanity forward. The control of fire. Fire wasn't invented. It was discovered, and more importantly, mastered. Early humans learned how to keep and control fire as early as 1 million years ago. Imagine what that meant. Warmth on a freezing night, protection against predators, the ability to cook food and unlock new nutrients. Fire also brought people together. Our ancestors gathered around flames to share stories, forging the first communities. Every candle, every stove, every rocket engine we use today traces its roots back to that moment when humans became the masters of fire. It was the first step toward civilization itself. Writing. Before writing, knowledge died with each generation. People relied only on memory and spoken stories. The first writing system. Suddenly, history, laws, trade records, and even poetry could be preserved forever. Writing allowed humans to think beyond their lifetimes. It made science, philosophy, and literature possible. From ancient scrolls to digital text on your phone, writing is the tool that gave humanity memory beyond the mind. The printing press. Fast forward to the 15th century. For most of history, books were rare treasures, copied by hand and owned only by the wealthy. Then came Johannes Gutenberg. In 1440, he perfected the printing press, a machine that could mass-produce books with movable type. The result? A revolution of knowledge. The Bible, once chained inside churches, could now be owned by common people. Ideas spread like wildfire, fueling the Renaissance, the Reformation, and the scientific revolution. The printing press was the internet of its time. It democratized knowledge, and once knowledge was free, the world was never the same again. The compass. Before the compass, traveling far from land was terrifying. Sailors relied on the stars and the sun, but clouds could turn guidance into guesswork. In 11th century China, a small piece of magnetized iron changed everything. The compass. For the first time, sailors could navigate even under cloudy skies or in complete darkness. With this tool, humanity connected continents, discovered new lands, and built global trade routes. The compass made exploration possible. And with exploration came the mixing of cultures, ideas, and innovations that shaped the modern world. Gunpowder. In ancient China, around the 9th century, alchemists searching for an elixir of immortality accidentally stumbled upon a recipe that would change warfare forever. Gunpowder. Made from saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal. It first powered fireworks. Beautiful explosions in the night sky by Sunny. Its potential as a weapon became clear. Cannons tore down castle walls. Firearms replaced swords and bows. Entire empires rose and fell because of this single invention. And yet gunpowder also gave us celebration. Fireworks that still light up our skies. A substance born from a quest for eternal life ended up reshaping both life and death on Earth. The steam engine. Imagine a world lit by candles, powered only by muscle, wind, and water. Then came the steam engine, perfected in the 8th century by inventors like James Watt. It was the beating heart of the Industrial Revolution. Steam engines powered trains, factories, and ships, turning local economies into global ones. A farmer could suddenly travel hundreds of miles in a matter of hours. Goods could be mass-produced, cities expanded, and technology accelerated at a pace never seen before. The steam engine didn't just move machines, it moved humanity into the modern age. Electricity. We take it for granted today. The flick of a switch, the glow of a bulb. But electricity is one of the most transformative forces ever harnessed. From Benjamin Franklin's kite experiment to Nikola Tesla's alternating current systems, electricity lit up the world. It powered homes, fueled factories, and later gave life to everything from radios to computers. Electricity turned night into day, connected cities, and became the invisible current running through every part of modern civilization. Without it, the modern world would simply shut down. The telephone. In 1870, Alexander Graham Bell spoke the first words over a telephone. "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." Those simple words unlocked a new era. For the first time, a human voice could travel instantly across great distance. Families separated by oceans could hear each other. Businesses could expand beyond their cities. Nations became connected in ways that letters never could. The telephone shrank the world, and every smartphone today still carries the legacy of Bell's invention. The Internet. It began as a military project in the 1960s, a way to connect computers in case of war. But what emerged was far greater: the Internet. By the 1990s, it exploded into homes, connecting humanity like never before. Suddenly, knowledge wasn't locked in libraries. It was at your fingertips. Friendships, businesses, and entire cultures formed online. Today, the Internet powers nearly everything we do: learning, working, shopping, entertainment. It is perhaps the single most powerful invention since fire, a digital fire that continues to reshape the human story every single day. The computer. At first, they were enormous machines filling entire rooms, but even those early computers could calculate in seconds what would take humans years. Over time, they shrank, from desktops to laptops to the smartphone in your pocket. Computers didn't just crunch numbers, they became tools of creativity, communication, and imagination. From designing skyscrapers to sequencing DNA, computers gave humans superpowers. They turned data into discovery and made the impossible achievable. The airplane. For thousands of years, humans dreamed of flight. In 1903, the Wright brothers finally made it a reality. Their first flight at Kitty Hawk lasted only 12 seconds. But it changed everything. Within decades, airplanes connected every corner of the globe. What once took months by ship could now be crossed in hours by air. Airplanes also carried aid during disasters, brought families together, and yes, reshaped wars. Humanity had conquered the skies, and in less than a century, those same principles would take us into space. The clock, itself, the automobile. When Henry Ford introduced the Model T in 1908, he didn't just make a car. He made mobility affordable to ordinary people. Suddenly, workers could live miles away from their jobs, families could travel for leisure, and cities began to expand outward. The car redefined freedom and independence. It also shaped economies, built entire industries, and changed landscapes with highways and wound stations. The automobile made the world faster, smaller, and more connected. The radio. At the turn of the 20th century, radio waves unlocked something magical: the ability to send voices and music through the air. For the first time, mass communication existed. News could spread instantly. Music reached millions, and lonely soldiers in trenches could hear voices from home. Radios connected the world long before television or the internet. Even today, in remote corners of the earth, radio remains a lifeline. It was the invention that gave humanity a shared voice. Paper. Kai Lun refined the art of papermaking, creating a lightweight, affordable medium that would change the world. Before paper, people carved words into stone or wrote on animal skins and bamboo. But paper was portable, easy to produce, and perfect for spreading ideas. Books, maps, letters, all became possible on a scale humanity had never seen. Paper carried religions across continents, recorded scientific discoveries, and allowed cultures to flourish. Even in our digital age, paper remains a symbol of knowledge and creativity. Printing ink. The printing press was revolutionary, but it needed a partner, ink that could withstand mass production. Developed in China and later perfected in Europe, printing ink transformed books from rare objects into everyday items. Combined with the press, ink fueled revolutions, spread political ideas, and ignited cultural renaissance. Every newspaper, magazine, and even comic book traces its roots back to the marriage of press and ink. It was the fuel for humanity's hunger for knowledge. The telescope. When Galileo lifted his telescope to the sky in 1609, he didn't just see stars. He saw humanity's place in the universe differently. He discovered moons orbiting Jupiter, mountains on the moon, and evidence that Earth wasn't the center of everything. The telescope transformed astronomy, challenging beliefs and expanding horizons. From Galileo's simple lenses to today's James Webb Space Telescope, this invention continues to push the boundaries of what we know about space and ourselves. The microscope. If the telescope let us see the vastness of space, the microscope revealed an entirely new universe, hidden in the tiniest details. Invented in the 16th century, it uncovered cells, bacteria, and the building blocks of life. Suddenly, diseases could be studied, biology was born, and medicine advanced like never before. The microscope proved that sometimes the greatest mysteries aren't in the stars, but right under our noses. Vaccination. In 1796, Edward Jenner made a shocking discovery. By exposing people to a mild form of cowpox, he could protect them from the deadly smallpox. It was the birth of vaccination, a shield against invisible enemies. Smallpox alone killed hundreds of millions, but vaccines eventually wiped it from the earth. From polio to COVID-19, vaccination remains one of humanity's greatest defenses, saving countless lives and giving us control over diseases that once seemed unstoppable. Penicillin. In 1928, Alexander Fleming noticed something strange. A mold called penicillium killed bacteria around it. That accident became one of the greatest medical breakthroughs in history. Penicillin, the first true antibiotic. Suddenly, infections that once meant certain death, like pneumonia, blood poisoning, or infected wounds, became treatable. Penicillin launched the age of antibiotics, turning medicine into a weapon against disease. It extended lifespans, saved millions, and changed the balance between humanity and illness forever. Refrigeration. It's easy to forget how recent this is. For most of history, food spoiled quickly. Meat rotted, milk soured, and diets were limited to whatever was fresh or preserved with salt. Then came refrigeration. By artificially cooling food, we could store it longer, transport it farther, and eat more safely. This invention revolutionized not just kitchens, but economies, agriculture, and global trade. Refrigeration gave us modern diets, reduced starvation, and made food truly global. The light bulb. Thomas Edison didn't invent light itself, but he made it practical. In 1879, he introduced the incandescent light bulb, a safe, long-lasting source of light. Cities glowed at night, factories ran after dark, homes became brighter and safer. More than convenience, The light bulb symbolized human mastery over nature. No longer bound by the cycle of the sun, we could control our own hours. The light bulb was more than glass and filament. It was hope, innovation, and progress in a single glow. The camera, the invention of photography in the 19th century, froze time itself. For the first time, people could capture moments and landscapes exactly as they were. No longer limited to paintings, history could be recorded with unmatched accuracy. Cameras told stories, spread truth, and created art. They witnessed wars, documented discoveries, and captured the beauty of ordinary life. From daguerreotypes to digital selfies, the camera forever changed how humans see the world and themselves. The printing of money. Money itself isn't an invention, it's an idea. But the printing of paper money, first used in 7th century China, changed economies completely. Instead of carrying heavy coins of gold and silver, people could trade with lightweight notes, backed by governments or banks. Paper money made trade faster, safer, and more efficient, fueling economies and globalization. Today, whether in cash or digital form, money remains one of the most powerful inventions shaping human behavior. The calendar. Imagine trying to plant crops, plan harvests, or celebrate festivals without knowing the time of year. The invention of the calendar solved this. From the ancient Egyptians tracking the Nile floods to the Mayans mapping celestial cycles, calendars gave humans control over time itself. They allowed civilizations to organize religion, agriculture, politics, and even war. Today, our lives, from birthdays to business meetings, are still guided by the calendar. It turned the chaos of passing days into structured civilization. Glass. Discovered over 4,000 years ago, glass began as an accidental byproduct of heating sand. At first, it was used for beads and ornaments. But over centuries, humans learned to mold glass into windows, lenses, and containers. Suddenly, light could pass through walls, microscopes revealed the invisible, and telescopes unlocked the stars. Glass wasn't just beauty, it was vision itself, shaping science, architecture, and daily life in ways we rarely think about today. The alphabet. Writing was humanity's first memory, but alphabets made it accessible. Instead of thousands of complex symbols, alphabets used a small set of letters to represent sounds. The Phoenicians spread it, the Greeks refined it, and the Romans carried it across Europe. Alphabets made reading and writing faster, simpler, and available to more people. They democratized knowledge long before the printing press and remain the backbone of nearly every written language in the world. The plow. Before the plow, farming was backbreaking, slow, and limited. But once humans harnessed animals to pull a plow, the soil could be turned faster and deeper, increasing food production dramatically. This single invention fueled population growth, built cities, and supported civilizations. The plow turned humanity from wandering hunter-gatherers into settled farmers. And in many ways, it was the invention that made all other inventions possible. Concrete. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built on concrete. The Romans perfected a mixture of volcanic ash, lime, and rock that hardened into a durable material still admired today. With concrete, they built aqueducts, roads, and the Colosseum, structures that still stand 2,000 years later. After Rome's fall, the secret of concrete was lost for centuries until it re-emerged to shape our modern world. Today, concrete is the foundation of cities, highways, and skyscrapers, a silent invention beneath our feet. The flush toilet. It might not sound glamorous, but the flush toilet transformed human health. First developed in ancient civilizations and reinvented in the 16th century, toilets and sewage systems reduced disease, improved sanitation, and extended lifespan. The flush toilet gave dignity and cleanliness to billions of people and is still one of the most important public health inventions in history. Eyeglasses. In the 13th century, someone in Italy placed curved glass before their eyes, and suddenly, the blurred world became clear. Eyeglasses restored vision to scholars, artisans, and everyday people, extending lifetimes of learning and productivity. Later, eyeglasses led to microscopes, telescopes, and cameras. What began as a tool for the farsighted became a gateway to science and discovery. The telegraph. Before the telegraph, messages traveled only as fast as a horse or a ship. Then, in the 1830s, Samuel Morse invented a way to send signals through wires, messages that could travel instantly across continents. For the first time in history, humans could communicate faster than the speed of travel. Wars were coordinated, stock markets connected, and the world became smaller. The telegraph was the first step toward the global communication networks we rely on today. The sewing machine. In the 19th century, clothing was handmade, slow to produce, and expensive. Then came the sewing machine. Suddenly, garments could be produced at an incredible speed, fueling fashion industry and tricey. It gave workers jobs, made clothing affordable, and forever changed how humans expressed themselves. The sewing machine stitched together not just fabric, but cultures and economies. The elevator. Skyscrapers would be impossible without it. Before elevators, buildings rarely rose above 5 or 6 stories. No one wanted to climb that many stairs. In 1853, Alicia Otis demonstrated the first safe elevator, changing architecture forever. Cities grew upward instead of outward, giving birth to the modern skyline. The elevator wasn't just about convenience. It redefined how humans lived, worked, and built the future. The printing of newspapers. When the first regular newspapers appeared in the 17th century, they gave birth to something powerful: shared knowledge in real time. Suddenly, ordinary citizens could learn about wars, politics, markets, and events beyond their towns. Newspapers became the heartbeat of democracy, spreading information, holding leaders accountable, and connecting communities. For centuries, they shaped public opinion and sparked revolutions. Even today, in digital form, the legacy of newspapers lives on every time you scroll the news. The battery. In 1800, Alessandro Volta stacked discs of copper and zinc, separated by cloth soaked in brine, and created the world's first true battery. For the first time, electricity could be stored and carried. That invention powered experiments that led to electric motors, telegraphs, and eventually every portable device we rely on today. The battery gave humans freedom from fixed power sources, making electricity mobile. And in the age of smartphones and electric cars, it remains one of our most vital inventions. The steamship. Before steam, ships relied on wind and currents, making travel unpredictable and slow. But in the early 19th century, steamships changed the seas forever. They could move regardless of weather, cut travel times, and connect continents with unprecedented reliability. Steamships carried goods, people, and ideas across the oceans, fueling global trade and migration. They turned the world into a truly connected place. The internal combustion engine. While steam engines powered the 18th and 19th centuries, it was the internal combustion engine that shaped the 20th. By burning fuel in each cylinders, it powered cars, motorcycles, airplanes, and countless machines. Cheap, efficient, and powerful. It put mobility into the hands of the masses and created an energy-hungry industrial world. The internal combustion engine was the heartbeat of modern transportation. And though we're now moving toward cleaner alternatives, its impact on history is undeniable. The typewriter. Before computers, before even modern offices, there was the typewriter. Invented in the 19th century, it turned messy handwriting into clean, legible text. It gave rise to newspapers, office work, and entire industries of clerks and secretaries. It sped up communication, democratized publishing, and created a new relationship between humans and machines. And though the typewriter eventually gave way to computers, the sound of clicking keys still echoes in every keyboard we use today. The telegraph cable, transatlantic cable. In 1858, the impossible became real. A cable laid across the floor of the Atlantic Ocean connected Europe and America. Messages that once took weeks by ship could now travel in minutes. This invention shrank oceans into wires and created the first truly global communication system. The transatlantic cable was the ancestor of today's undersea internet cables, those invisible veins that keep the modern world connected. The bicycle, simple, elegant, and efficient. The bicycle changed the world in ways far greater than transportation. Invented in the 19th century, it gave ordinary people cheap, fast mobility. For women, the bicycle was a symbol of independence and freedom. For workers, it meant access to jobs and opportunities. It even influenced the design of automobiles and airplanes. The humble bicycle remains one of humanity's greenest, healthiest, and most empowering inventions. The washing machine. Few inventions have had as great an impact on daily life, especially for women, as the washing machine. For centuries, washing clothes was exhausting labor, consuming entire days. The washing machine gave back time for work, education, and leisure. Some historians even argue it did more for gender equality than many political movements. By freeing people from endless domestic labor, it reshaped households and society. The phonograph. In 1877, Thomas Edison invented the phonograph, the first device that could record and play back sound. For the first time, voices and music could be preserved beyond the moment they were made. Imagine hearing someone speak long after they had died, or listening to music performed thousands of miles away. The phonograph opened the door to the music industry, broadcasting, and all recorded audio we enjoy today. The air conditioner. In 1902, Willis Carrier invented a machine to control temperature and humidity. What began as a tool for preserving paper in a printing factory became one of the greatest comfort inventions in history. Air conditioning. Suddenly, living in hot climates became bearable. Offices could function year-round, and entire cities in deserts like Dubai or Las Vegas could exist. Air conditioning reshaped demographics, economies, and daily life, all by controlling the invisible air around us. The television. In the early 20th century, moving images leapt from film reels into living rooms. Television turned homes into theaters, delivering news, entertainment, and culture directly to families. It became the most powerful storyteller of the 20th century, broadcasting wars, moon landings, sports, and revolutions into billions of eyes. TV didn't just entertain, it shaped politics, created global celebrities, and defined collective memory. For much of modern history, television wasn't just a device, it was the window through which humanity saw the world. The satellite. In 1957, Sputnik became the first artificial satellite, orbiting Earth and signaling the dawn of the space age. Satellites soon transformed communication, weather forecasting, navigation, and exploration. They monitor our climate, guide airplanes and ships, beam television across oceans, and allow GPS to tell you exactly where you are standing. Without satellites, modern global life, from smartphones to international banking, would collapse. Humanity extended its reach beyond Earth, and the first step was putting a machine into orbit. The submarine. For centuries, the ocean's depths were a mystery. Then came the submarine, a vessel that could slip beneath the waves and travel unseen. From early military use in the 18th and 19th centuries to modern nuclear subs capable of months-long voyages, submarines redefined warfare, trade, and exploration. They also opened the door to scientific discovery, allowing humans to explore deep-sea ecosystems and learn more about the planet's most hidden places. 5. The compass watch, portable time, plus navigation. The marriage of the clock and the compass gave humanity a new kind of independence. Portable navigation. Pocket watches and marine chronometers allowed sailors to calculate longitude, solving one of history's greatest navigational challenges. Later, wristwatches put time on every person's arm. This portability wasn't just convenient. It structured armies, railways, industries, and entire economies. The combination of time and direction meant humans could navigate the world with precision. The printing of maps. Maps existed for millennia, drawn by hand. But when map-making met the printing press, humanity gained one of its most transformative tools: the ability to share knowledge of the world widely and accurately. Suddenly, explorers, traders, and nations could use the same references always, standardizing knowledge of geography. Printed maps guided the age of exploration, expanded empires, and even shaped wars. Every GPS app today stands on the shoulders of those first mass-produced maps. The elevator brake, safety elevator. The invention of the elevator was important, but Elisha Otis's safety brake in 1853 made it practical. Before his design, elevators were too dangerous for everyday use. His invention allowed skyscrapers to rise, changing architecture forever. Without the safety elevator, cities like New York and Dubai would never have their iconic skylines. It was a simple mechanism, but one that lifted humanity upward, literally and figuratively. The personal computer. In the 1970s and 1980s, computers moved from corporate labs into homes. The personal computer changed everything: how we work, learn, and play. It turned ordinary people into creators, gave rise to video games, spreadsheets, and digital art, and became the foundation of the modern internet age. The personal computer was a revolution, not just of technology, but of empowerment. It gave every individual access to the kind of processing power once reserved for governments. The smartphone. When Apple introduced the iPhone in 2007, the world entered a new era. A device that combined phone, computer, and internet into a single pocket-sized object, reshaped daily life. Smartphones put the sum of human knowledge in your hand, connected billions of people instantly, and created entire industries, from apps to social media. They blurred the line between reality and digital life. Today, the smartphone is more than a tool. It's an extension of ourselves. The 3D printer. Once science fiction, now reality. Machines that can print physical objects, layer by layer. From replacement parts to prosthetic limbs, from food to houses, 3D printing is redefining how things are made. It puts manufacturing power into the hands of individuals, allowing anyone to create what once required factories. The 3D printer is more than an invention. It's a revolution in creativity, promising to reshape industries from medicine to construction. The drone. What began as military technology has become a tool of everyday life. Drones, small flying robots, now deliver packages, capture breathtaking photography, and explore dangerous environments. Farmers use them to monitor crops, scientists to study volcanoes, and filmmakers to tell stories from the sky. Drones put flight into the hands of ordinary people, giving us new perspectives on the world below. They remind us that technology doesn't just change life, it changes how we see it. The steam turbine. The steam engine powered the Industrial Revolution, but the steam turbine took efficiency to the next level. Invented in the late 19th century, it transformed thermal energy into mechanical power with incredible effectiveness. Today, steam turbines generate most of the world's electricity, driving power plants that keep cities glowing at night. Without them, the modern electrical grid would collapse. This invention quite literally keeps civilization running. The camera. For thousands of years, humans painted and drew to capture moments. The camera changed everything. It froze time. From the earliest daguerreotypes to digital photography, cameras became memory machines. They document history, preserve family milestones, and fuel art, science, and journalism. A single photo can change the world. Think of the moon landing, wars, or iconic portraits. The camera didn't just capture light. It captured truth. The barbed wire. A simple invention with massive impact. Twisted metal wire with sharp bars. In the 19th century, barbed wire transformed the American West, allowing farmers and ranchers to cheaply fence vast lands. It changed agriculture, land ownership, and even warfare. Its simplicity belied its power. Barbed wire literally reshaped the map of nations and the borders of human expansion. GPS, Global Positioning System. Originally developed by the U.S. military during the Cold War, GPS became one of the most transformative tools of the modern world. It guides planes, ships, and cars, but its impact goes far beyond navigation. Agriculture, logistics, emergency response, and even dating apps rely on GPS technology. Without it, supply chains would falter, international travel would be chaotic, and everyday conveniences like food delivery or ride-hailing apps wouldn't exist. GPS shrank uncertainty and gave humanity a digital compass. Artificial intelligence, AI. From recommendation systems on Netflix to advanced language models, AI has already reshaped human society. Unlike previous machines, AI doesn't just do. It learns, adapts, and predicts. It fuels self-driving cars, medical diagnoses, fraud detection, and creative industries. Some view AI as the next industrial revolution, while others fear it could outpace human control. Regardless, it represents humanity's attempt to replicate intelligence itself, a profound leap in our history. Blockchain. First designed as the backbone of Bitcoin, blockchain is more than cryptocurrency. It's a system of decentralized, tamper-proof records. Beyond finance, it promises secure voting systems, transparent supply chains, and digital ownership through Saudi freeze. Its power lies in trust, removing intermediaries and giving individuals direct control over assets. Whether it becomes a foundation of future economies or a passing trend, blockchain has already challenged how we define value and authority. CRISPR gene editing, a discovery that may define the future of biology. CRISPR allows precise editing of DNA, making it possible to correct genetic disorders, enhance crops, and even fight viruses. For the first time, humans can rewrite the code of life. The possibilities are breathtaking, but so are the ethical dilemmas. Should we eliminate hereditary diseases? What about enhancing intelligence or physical ability? CRISPR has given humanity the keys to evolution itself. The assembly line. Popularized by Henry Ford in the early 20th century, the assembly line allowed mass production of automobiles and other goods. It drastically lowered costs, improved efficiency, and transformed labor organization, fueling industrial economies worldwide. The photocopier. Introduced in the 1960s, the photocopier transformed offices, schools, and businesses by allowing the rapid duplication of documents. Before its invention, copying documents was a slow and labor-intensive process, often done by hand. With photocopiers, information could be shared quickly and efficiently, improving productivity, record-keeping, and collaboration. This invention played a key role in the modern information age, enabling organizations to distribute printed materials on a large scale. The Internet. The Internet is a global network that connects millions of computers and devices, enabling instant communication, information sharing, and digital commerce. Its invention revolutionized how people access knowledge, conduct business, and interact socially. Beyond practical applications, the Internet has reshaped culture, politics, and education, breaking down geographical barriers and democratizing access to information. It has also facilitated global collaboration, allowing ideas and innovations to spread faster than ever before. Solar panels. Solar panels, using photovoltaic technology, convert sunlight directly into electricity. They provide a clean, renewable source of energy, reducing dependence on fossil fuels and decreasing greenhouse gas emissions. Solar energy is central to sustainable development, helping to address climate change and energy scarcity. Over the decades, advances in solar technology have made it more efficient and affordable, enabling widespread adoption in homes, businesses, and large-scale power generation. The electric motor. The electric motor converts electrical energy into mechanical work, powering countless devices and machines. From household appliances like fans and refrigerators to industrial machinery, trains, and robotics, electric motors are essential to modern life. Their invention enabled the mechanization of production, transportation, and automation, paving the way for technological progress and economic growth. They are fundamental to modern manufacturing, electric vehicles, and renewable energy systems. The printing press, movable type. Johannes Gutenberg's printing press, introduced in the 15th century, revolutionized the production of books and written material. It allowed texts to be reproduced quickly, accurately, and affordably, greatly increasing literacy and spreading knowledge. The press fueled the Renaissance, scientific advancement, and the Reformation, laying the foundation for modern education, media, and communication. It transformed how societies recorded history, shared ideas, and educated populations. The compass, magnetic. The magnetic compass enabled sailors and explorers to determine direction accurately, even when landmarks were not visible. This invention was crucial for maritime exploration, trade expansion, and the establishment of global trade routes. By reducing the uncertainty of navigation, it facilitated the age of discovery, the expansion of empires, and cultural exchanges. Its principles continue to influence navigation technologies today. The laser, which produces a concentrated beam of coherent light, has applications across medicine, telecommunications, manufacturing, and research. In medicine, it allows precision surgeries with minimal invasiveness. In industry, lasers are used for cutting, welding, and measurement. In communications, they enable high-speed data transmission through fiber optics. Scientific research relies on lasers for experiments in physics, chemistry, and astronomy, making them one of the most versatile inventions of the 20th century. Nuclear energy. Nuclear energy began to be developed in the mid-20th century after World War II, with the first nuclear power reactors built in the 1950s. The first reactor to produce usable electricity was EBRI in Idaho, USA, in 1951. Unlike fossil fuels, nuclear fission releases enormous amounts of energy from very small amounts of uranium or plutonium. Its development not only transformed global energy strategies, reducing dependence on coal and oil, but also reshaped geopolitics, since nuclear knowledge was tied to both civil and military uses. Beyond power plants, nuclear technology has also been applied in medicine, such as radiation therapies for cancer and advanced diagnostic tools. Antibiotics. Beyond penicillin. Although penicillin was discovered in 1928 by Alexander Fleming and mass-produced during the 1940s, saving countless lives in World War II, it was only the beginning. Later discoveries brought streptomycin, 1943, tetracyclines, 1950, and cephalosporins, 1960, expanding the arsenal of antibiotics. These new drugs made it possible to treat previously deadly bacterial infections like tuberculosis, pneumonia, and meningitis. Beyond curing diseases, antibiotics enabled safer surgeries, transplants, and chemotherapy, since infections could now be controlled. This medical revolution dramatically increased global life expectancy and remains one of the greatest breakthroughs in human history. The microprocessor. The microprocessor was invented in 1971 by Intel's Hull, with the Intel 4004, designed by Federico Fagant, Martian Hoff, and Stan Mazur. This tiny silicon chip condensed the computing power of an entire machine into a single integrated circuit. It marked the beginning of the digital age, enabling the creation of smaller, cheaper, and more powerful computers. From the personal computer boom in the 1980s to the rise of mobile phones, smartphones, AI, and the Internet, nearly all modern electronics are powered by microprocessors. In essence, it became the brain of the modern world, making today's global connectivity possible. The MRI machine, magnetic resonance imaging, was developed in the 1970s with pioneering work by Paul Lauterbur and Peter Mansfield, who later received the Nobel Prize in 2003. The first human MRI scan was conducted in 1977. This technology uses magnetic fields and radio waves to generate highly detailed images of the inside of the body without the risks of surgery or harmful radiation. MRI revolutionized medicine by enabling early detection of tumors, brain disorders, muscle injuries, and internal diseases with unmatched precision. Today, MRI is one of the most important tools in modern diagnostic medicine. The pacemaker. The first implantable pacemaker was invented in 1958 by Rune Elmqvist and Åke Senning in Sweden. It regulates the heart's rhythm by sending small electrical impulses, preventing life-threatening arrhythmias. Before its invention, patients with severe heart rhythm disorders had limited treatment options and short life expectancy. The pacemaker gave millions of people the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Over time, pacemakers became smaller, smarter, and longer-lasting, with modern models even capable of remote monitoring and adaptive pacing. This device remains one of the most life-saving innovations in cardiology. Renewable wind energy. Windmills have existed for centuries, used in Persia as early as the 9th century. But modern wind power emerged in the 1970s in Denmark, particularly during the oil crisis. Modern wind turbines convert the kinetic energy of moving air into electricity without polluting the atmosphere. Today, wind power is a cornerstone of the global renewable energy transition, with massive onshore and offshore wind farms capable of powering entire cities. By reducing reliance on fossil fuels, wind energy plays a critical role in combating climate change and promoting sustainable development worldwide. The Internet Satellite Network. The first communication satellites appeared in the 1960s, such as Telstar 1, 1962, which enabled transatlantic TV and phone signals. However, the concept of modern satellite internet constellations emerged decades later. Projects like Starlink, launched in 2019 by SpaceX, created vast networks of thousands of satellites in low Earth orbit, providing high-speed internet even into remote or rural regions. These networks are helping to close the digital divide, granting access to education, healthcare, business, and communication to communities previously left disconnected. Beyond connectivity, they also play strategic roles in global security and emergency response. Reusable rockets. SpaceX successfully landed and reused rockets Falcon 9, 2015, reducing the cost of space exploration. This innovation is paving the way for Mars colonization, satellite internet, and private space travel. Wearable health tech. Devices like smartwatches, Apple Watch, Fitbit, can monitor heart rate, oxygen levels, sleep, and even detect irregular heartbeats. This transformed preventive healthcare and real-time patient monitoring. Quantum computing. With breakthroughs from Google 2019, IBM, and others, quantum computers are advancing beyond classical limits, promising solutions to problems in medicine, cryptography, materials science, and AI that were previously impossible. Social media platforms. The rise of platforms like Facebook 2004, YouTube 2005, Twitter 2006, TikTok 2016 transformed global communication, politics, marketing, culture, and even revolutions. Cloud computing, Amazon Web Services 2006, and later, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, etc., made it possible to store and process massive amounts of data online. This enabled streaming, global collaboration, AI, and the modern digital economy. Voice assistants with Siri 2011, Alexa 2014. These AI-powered devices now control lights, appliances, and security systems, changing daily life. Biodegradable and lab-grown materials. From lab-grown meat to bioplastics made from algae or cornstarch, these innovations address climate change and food security by reducing dependence on traditional meat and plastics. Augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR. From Oculus Rift 2012 to Apple Vision Pro 2024, immersive technologies are reshaping gaming, training, education, healthcare, and entertainment. Fusion energy breakthroughs. In December 2022, the U.S. National Ignition Facility achieved net energy gain from nuclear fusion for the first time. This historic step could eventually provide limitless clean energy, ending dependence on fossil fuels. If you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Thank you for making it this far. See you in the next video.